The 8th of November 2017, Avintia riders Héctor and Loris Baz say they are expecting an emotional weekend at the Valencian Grand Prix, as the duo prepare to bow out of MotoGP.Barberá. Has spent 8 seasons in the Premier class with Aspar, Pramac and Avintia, as well as a tworace spell at the Ducati factory outfit, but will move to Moto2 next season. Baz, meanwhile, is set to return to World Superbikes after a 2-year stint in Moto, with Avintia having already signed Tito, Rabat and Xavier Sime for 2018. Valencia is my home Grand Prix and for me it's always special to race on the Ricardo Tormo circuit, said Barberá. This year, it's even more special because it's the last race with the team that I've raced with in the last 5 seasons, and that has become my family. It will also be my last race in MotoGP, and after 8 years in this Class 1, look forward to new challenges in Moto2. I have no doubt that it will be a very nice and emotional weekend, but I want to focus on working hard from the first practice on Friday to get ready for Sunday's race. I want to finish this stage of my career with a good result for my team, for me and for all the sponsors that have been supporting us always. Baz echoed Barberá's sentiments, though his wary improvements made by rivals KTM and Suzuki means capturing a strong result will be a difficult proposition. We will push at the maximum from Friday and our goal is to finish in the top 10, said Baz. This goal has become more difficult to achieve with every race, because all the factories improved a lot, especially KTM and Suzuki, but we'll try. I would like to get a good result to conclude my two-year partnership with the team on a high note. Latest news: 11:19 Williams is set to wait until the new year before it confirms the identity of Lance Stroll's 2018 teammate, the final vacancy. F1 10:29 Andretti has confirmed that Tom Blomqvist will make his Formula E debut at next month's Marrakesh Prix. The BMW-affiliated FEO 905 Ferrari-backed Robert Schwartzman will graduate to the FIA European Formula 3 Championship with Pramac in 2018, the team confirmed. F30532 Scuderia Toro Rosso drivers Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley sing a selection of Christmas classics as the festive period. F1 1624 Mercedes continues its countdown to Christmas by looking back at the Belgian Grand Prix, where Lewis Hamilton narrowly beat F1 1345 McLaren-backed youngster Lando Norris does not believe that Pirelli's tires in Formula 2 sufficiently prepare a driver in terms. F2 1132 Initial renders of the planned new paddock building at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve have been posted by the Société du F1 1120. For almost 2 decades, Jeepupdate.net has kept the motorsport community updated with the latest news, photos and thoughts from the F1 1034 Red Bull drivers Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo get comfy on the sofa to review the season that was 2017, in which they F1 0915 Force India test driver Nikita Mazepin will move across to the GP3 series in 2018, having signed a deal with Art Grant. GP30902 Jeepupdate.net continues its end-off-season review with Renault, which returned to the midfield, as Nico Hülkenberg led the F1 0538 newly crowned Formula 1 world champion Lewis Hamilton drops in to see his colleagues at the Mercedes-Benz plant in Sindelfingen. F1 1702 F1 1548 Romain Grosjean has expressed optimism over Haas' form during its second season in Formula 1, but believes its development. F1 1533 Dutch fans are set to be the big winners in 2018 with Motorsport.com, the world's fastest-growing media brand, acquiring the F1 1508 Formula 2 newcomers. Charouz has recruited Luis de la Traz and Antonio Fuoco for its inaugural campaign in the championship in F2 1334 Maverick Viñales became the first MotoGP rider to complete laps at the revamped Kyalami circuit earlier this week when he took MotoGP 1142. Brendan Hartley says that he has massive respect for Red Bull chiefs after they handed him his Formula 1 debut with Toro Rosso. F1 1014 Mercedes continues its countdown to Christmas by reflecting on George Russell's first public Formula 1 test with the team, as he F1 0858 Jeepupdate.net continues its end-off-season review by reflecting on Toro Rosso's campaign, which unraveled through the final. F1 0538 Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes present for the double-sided 2017 World Championship Collector's Photo Book, featuring a selection of F1 1632 watch as Formula 1 racer Max Verstappen takes on Red Bull Esports athlete Snake Eyes at Street Fighter. F1 1438 Moto race direction will host an open test at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya in May, to enable riders to assess the new Moto 1332. Marcus Ericsson has defended his record against former Sauber teammate Pascal Wehrlein, despite failing to score a point in F1 1033. Nicholas Latifi reflects on his 2017 Formula 2 season, which featured 1 win and 9 podiums, and looks ahead to a potential F2 1004. Max Chilton believes that Carlin can emerge as a competitive force in IndyCar in 2018, after confirmation of the team's Indy 0906. Jeepupdate.net continues its end-off-season review with Haas, which stabilized as both Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen scored. F1 0835 McLaren Racing Director Eric Boullier says that he is not a fan of potentially giving Lando Norris practice outings in 2018. F1 0536 Mercedes continues its countdown to Christmas by reflecting on the British Grand Prix, which Lewis Hamilton won for the fourth. F1 1622 watch as Formula E presenter Nikki Shields takes on DevBot I-Test Mule for Robours, the first driverless racing series, at the FE 1418. Carlin has announced its move into the IndyCar series in a time capacity for the 2018 season, with Max Chilton and Charlie, Indy 1249. Billy Munger says that he hopes to return to single-seater competition in 2018, potentially in British Formula 3, after the FIA MISC 1137 Moto promoter Dorna Sports has announced the supplier for the new FIA Moto World Cup Electric Series, which is set to begin. Moto 1017 Formula 2 driver NYCK De Vries and DTM racer Nico Muller will sample Formula E machinery with Audi in the series. FE 1002 watch cinematic highlights from the first 2 races of the 201,718 Formula E season, which took place on the streets of Hong. FE 0902 Jeepupdate.net continues its team review with McLaren, which finally lost patience with Honda, as the Marcus revised. F1 0828 Williams is staying silent over reports that Robert Kubica has dropped out of contention for its 2018 race seat, and that Sergey. F1 0548 Mercedes continues its countdown to Christmas by looking back at the Austrian Grand Prix, where Valtteri Bottas took pole, and F1 1504 Mercedes continues its countdown to Christmas by reflecting on the dramatic Azerbaijan Grand Prix, when Lewis Hamilton was. F1 1343 Formula 1 tire supplier Pirelli has confirmed the compounds that will be used at the opening 3 Grand Prix of the 2018 F1